there's Tiffany. Tiffany. Yamila. Welcome, everyone, to a lovely Friday. A lovely Friday. Here is a simple exercise in observation. You see, you and I are already deliberately living our lives. You and I are deliberately living our lives. I'm going to say it again. You and I are already deliberately living our lives. The key now is to observe it. When you begin to recognize that we are deliberately living our lives, then we stop saying things like, well, I don't know how to change. For some of us who have schedules, do you think that was perhaps by chance? No, you had to deliberately create your schedule for a purpose. Whether it is your work schedule or your child's schedule, you had to deliberately create it. The school, you know how they say, well, it starts at 8. Please be here at that time. School is done by 3. Deliberate. The school was deliberate, so you had to become deliberate. You see, we are always deliberate. So if you find that you're saying to yourself, well, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know. Why me? Whether you are deliberate from a place of awareness or whether you are deliberate because you are unaware of what you are doing, you and I are always deliberate in what we do. So the exercise is this: observe yourself. Observe yourself. How else will you see it? You have to pay attention to what you are doing. Where are you deliberate in your life? That's what you're looking for. You are looking for instances in your life when you said, oh, I'm doing this. Sometimes you don't even have to say, I'm doing it. You just do it. You've already made up your mind to do it. We, as people, always live deliberately because we cannot live another way. Even if you say, well, I didn't make a decision. The law of vibration gently reminds us that everything is moving. Nothing stands still. So you, my beautiful friends, me, we have made a decision. Whether we deliberately made a decision to change our lives or whether we made a decision to remain the same because we thought it's too hard, it's not possible, you were deliberate. We are always deliberate because that is the nature of the law. We are always deliberate. So where in your life can you spot your deliberate act? Where can you spot it? Are you going to look? Just simply, you see, here's the thing. This is not an exercise in judgment. This is an exercise in observation. When you see something in your life, you can celebrate it if you like it. If you don't like it, observe it. What is it that you don't like about it? Why would you ask that question? Because the law of polarity gently encourages us to be honest with ourselves. When you are honest about the problem that you are facing, you can create the actual solution for it. But if you lie to yourself, oh, I don't really have a problem. Either because you're afraid that somebody's going to judge you or you judge yourself, or you may feel like a failure. All of that is irrelevant. The law is not asking you about your opinion or your feelings. It is asking you, is this thing worthy of you? So then be honest and answer the question. Why? Because you must be deliberate, which means when you say, I don't know what I want, I'm not sure. When you say things like that, that's your cue to sit for a moment and get out the law of polarity. Where are you now? And what are you doing? So that you can answer the question where you want to be and what you want to be doing. If you noticed at every turn, the law is deliberate. How can you be so sure? Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. Correspondence, as above, so below. It's not willy-nilly. It's not maybe, maybe not. No. But how do you equate it to real life? Go back to your garden. You don't not deliberately plant. Summer Rose, who's always a part of our fan base group, she was deliberate. She says, I'm going to plant me some roses. She did her research on what they like to eat, what kind of light they liked, what kind of water. Now tell me, was she not deliberate? She chose what she wanted to plant because what she wanted to experience was the beauty of roses, because she happens to truly enjoy them. So she was deliberate. You and I are always deliberate. Always. If we would but observe ourselves, we would see it. And when you see that you are deliberate, when it comes time for you to make a change, you know how to make the change. You don't talk poorly to yourself and say, oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I've been doing this for far too long, so I'm stuck like this. Oh, woe is me. No, we don't behave like that. We don't beat ourselves up. We don't judge ourselves. That is not how we live. We are deliberate. So when you get this brand spanking new idea and you say, Eureka, this is my business. This is my goal. And you see that it makes you feel real good in your body. And you begin to plan. You begin to put all the little necessary pieces together that you can put together. Because you have a role. For the seed to get in the ground, you, especially if you are deliberate, you go out and you plant them. You go out and you plant them. Look, there's this cucumber out in nature. Do you know it literally spits its seeds out into the air? Spits them out like a sprinkler. Deliberate in their design. They don't have legs. They don't have legs. But the seeds must be planted for them to carry on. So they spit the seeds out. There's another tree. Its seeds, when it falls from the tree, it doesn't fall. It has like a little rudder on it, and it causes it to spin in a spiral so it can float on the air. That is deliberate. It is deliberate. Even the bees, when they go and they get drunk on the nectar from blossom to blossom, they too are deliberate. They deliberately love nectar. So the pollen just hitches a ride so that we get to eat from that. So you see, nothing is abstract or random, by way of the law of rhythm. Everything happens. Also, causation. That rhythm, when we go into winter, spring, summer, fall, something happens in that season that is deliberate. You and I are always living from a place of being deliberate. Whether you cuss somebody out, whether you troll, it is irrelevant. We did it deliberately. Whether we were aware or unaware, we act according to law, which is deliberate. If you look at the law, you will see that it is precise. It tells you what? The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. As above, so below, as within, so without. It tells you everything vibrates. Everything moves. It cannot stand still. So you are either, by way of polarity, moving from where you are to where you say you're going, or you're just moving right where you are. You're doing the same thing over and over again in that polarity, which now becomes a rhythm. A rhythm is a habit, something you can predict because you can count when it begins, when it ends, when it starts again. Rhythm is actually time, not by way of I tell you we're here at 7:35 a.m. Eastern Standard. No, that's not time. That's something we agreed upon. But if you notice, it has to follow law. It is a rhythm. It is a habit. It is a habit. The universe doesn't wear a watch, yet it knows when everything happens because it happens by way of rhythm. So rhythm is not just a dancer. You get it? And from rhythm, the rhythm causes you to act because every cause brings about an effect. And every effect now will bring about a cause. Every cause, an effect. Every effect, a cause. You see how it is always unfolding. And finally, the law of gender. It is masculine to come up with the idea and project it outward. You see the cucumber? Remember the cucumber that spits out its own seeds? Seriously, like a machine gun. It just spits them out. What is it doing? It's generating new life by way of those seeds. So it has to project them out. The word projectile, the word propaganda are all things that are being shot forth. But then where? Always into something that receives it, a womb. In the cucumber's case, the dirt would be the womb for it. So your thought does not remain in your head. Science is showing us this now because they put those little caps on and the computer reads the brainwave and can tell you what that person is thinking at that time. So your thoughts, although they may be invisible to the naked eye at first, they are always visible in the end. Why? Because when you project that thing outward and it is accepted by the womb, life always comes forth from the womb. Yes, we may have anomalies that say, the womb miscarried, but it miscarries because the miscarriage that you look at is an effect. It is not the cause, it is an effect. If you experience something, it was caused by something. So you see, today, everything is deliberate. It's not random. And because we are governed by law, we too are also deliberate. So the next time you say to yourself, I would like to be bold. I would like more boundaries. Oh, where do you want this boundary? You have an acreage and you call that guy out to tell him to put a fence up. You got to tell him where to put the fence up. Where do you want your boundary? Which means you must define where the weakness is. Is it the way you allow people to speak to you, but then go back? The way people speak is an effect. And here's the thing. They are creating their own causes. Because each man, each woman, that's what we do. So that's why sometimes when you encounter people and things and situations, you don't complain and say, why me? Examine the self. Am I the cause? Or am I walking through the mist of somebody else's fog of their cause? You actually do it very quickly. It is a very quick thing. But this is why we spend the time with this simple lesson or exercise today. Observation. Look at yourself and see where you are deliberate. If you are driving at the moment, were you not deliberate? You had to get somewhere. You have an engagement. So you had to deliberately board your mode of transportation. Everything is deliberate. It's not random. It's not willy-nilly. But we have a beautiful word. We call it coincidence. Or we say synchronicity. It is law. So today, observe yourself. What did you do? What did you not do? Either way, you were deliberate in that choice. Find. Not because you have to look for it. You are already doing it. You are already doing it. So just allow yourself to see it. Allow yourself to simply observe what you are doing. When you observe yourself, you learn about yourself. You begin to see who you are. You begin to see what moves you. You begin to see what does not move you in the way you would like. Simply observe it. When you plant the seed in the ground, you have to observe it growing. Because you don't make it grow, I don't make it grow, but we must do our part. We must do our part when we are deliberate. If you want that thing to grow, well, then you have to plant it. That's why I tell you, even the cucumber, does the cucumber have a mind? No, not per se. Not the way we humans have a mind. But the cucumber is governed by a mind. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. That is telling us clearly that there is a thinker behind it all. Who and what? Well, I don't know, but if you look at those laws and how they unfold, if you observe how they unfold, you will comprehend something about the all behind the laws. Precise, clear, deliberate, focused. So then, how do you want to live your life? Do you want to be clear? Just like that spitting cucumber. Is that what you want to be? Well, then you have to know what you want. What do you want to experience? Notice again, the question is, do you think it is possible? That is not the question. The question is, what do you want? When you know what it is that you want and you can answer and say, I want to create, and you name it, that is what makes it possible. That is what makes it possible. So you see, Observe yourself as you go through this lovely Friday. Observe your mood. See if you can pick up where it came from. Just observe the self without judgment. We observe to learn and gather information so that we can change or reinforce ourselves. This is the key. Now, let us take a quick moment to welcome everyone into the space today. Love Troll, Jeff, Tiffany, and hopefully Javion. They're here on Twitter this morning. It is beautiful to see you on this lovely Friday. Who's here on Fanbase today? Let's start at the bottom. Work our way up, eh? Manifold, Ali, Dynamic is here. Zeesty, Miss McQueen, Baba Bonatu is here. Hey, Coach. Summer Rose, Matthias. Hey, Marcus. 777, Oracle Treehouse, My Melanin. Lady Elevation, Yamila, Casey, Zola, Yolanda, I see you all on this lovely day. Hummingbird, I see you all here today in this space on Fanbase. Who's here on Facebook? Indy is here. And YouTube, who's in the chat? Shea Butter, the better man. Joaquin, it is so great to see you. Cyber came for me this morning. He said, "You're early this morning." Well, deliberate. I am making sure to say, hey, all the equipment is flowing beautifully the way it needs to, so I can be where I need to be. Deliberate. Right? This is why we practice being deliberate, but not just practice it what? With full awareness, which means you know what you're doing. Because think about the alternative, because this is law, yes, the pendulum. You are the pendulum. If you don't know what you want, how can you recreate it? A seamstress, Bree, I haven't seen her or called her name for weeks, but Bree, beautiful creator when it comes to her patterns. Just recently, she had a curtain hanging at the window, and she says, that would make a lovely dress. She sat there and she cut out the pattern. I wonder where she got that pattern. That's right. In her mind, she knew what she wanted to create. How did she know? She looked at the curtain, which caused this seed of inspiration to take root. That's what happened. So she sketched it out. Where was it? In her mind. It wasn't invisible because she could see it. That is the same for you and I. If you like sugar visions and you bake, her clients will say, bake me this. See, they had to know what they want. Why? Because when they say, sugar visions, can you make me this kind of cake? You know, her famous red velvet cake. Yes. She knows exactly what to do. How? Because she has the recipe. She can recreate it. So you see, you and I must know what we want. Because when you know what you want, you can recreate it. That's what makes it possible. You know what you want, you can recreate it. You are now being aware, but deliberately aware. So if you say, oh my God, I'm so shy, I'm painfully shy. I can't talk to people, they scare me. What do you want? You want confidence? You want to be able to speak to just about anybody? Well, then start at the beginning. We normally speak about things that we know. And is it a good morning? Well, then you start there because it is good, isn't it? And you say, good morning, or you say, hello, lovely day, isn't it? Whether they respond or not is not your concern. What you are doing is being deliberate in creating your boldness. So, where are you learned? Where are you educated? But, Angela, I didn't go to university. I didn't even go to college. I don't know things. Really? You do know many things. You know something. You do. So when you are presented, like for instance, if you go to the grocery store, are you helpful? Hmm? Are you kind? And some little old lady comes by and says, honey, I can't see the price. You know, these eyes of mine. Can you tell me what it is? And you say, why, of course. And you tell her the price. And she says, oh, kindness is in such rare supply these days. Thank you. Were you not bold? Did you not practice? Of course. You are going to be presented with the opportunity to be bold. So clear your throat and rehearse boldness. When you rehearse your boldness, you are deliberate. You are deliberate. If you say, look, you don't know this person I got to deal with at work, Angela. You don't know them. No, but I know the law. So you now, if they're a little bit, testy, a little bit persnickety, it's okay. It's all right. It is all right. Start with the facts. You come in there with an attitude of what? An attitude of softness. It doesn't matter how much they piss you off. That's irrelevant. You have to be accountable for your words and your actions and your thoughts. If it helps you, you write it down. You write down the grievances, not from your opinions, but from the fact. If you say, you know what? I think I have some solutions that could help us. I've noticed, especially if you are the one in authority, you say, I've noticed this particular task. I've noticed this thing, this error in it. Here's how you fix it. Oh, you trying to tell me what to do, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm simply saying for the team's productivity. And that's when someone will say to me, oh, but Angela, you're so, oh, bless your heart. You're so optimistic. Let me tell you a little something. When you become deliberate, right? And you take your opinion and your feelings away from the situation, simply state the facts. I have noticed, dot, dot, dot. List the fact. And if they come with emotion, you say, I get it. I understand. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to be corrected, but I'm not correcting you. I'm solving the issue in the equation. Why? Because you're not saying, Heifer, you so dumb, you don't ever get it right. Now, how you possibly think they'll come at you? You dropped the gauntlet. So what's going to happen when you drop the gauntlet? Challenge accepted. A soft answer turns away wrath. A soft answer turns away wrath. So if you are in that position of authority, come with facts, not feelings. Whether you like them or you don't like them, don't do that. Be deliberate in your delivery of teaching and instructing. And then when you catch yourself, make sure that you're not arguing with them in your head and saying, oh my God, they're so hard to talk to. Mm-mm. You're muddying the water with your feelings. Be deliberate. Be clear about the facts. Be clear about the facts. If you, like water, already know that they may be a bit of a challenge, you come in with the softest of approaches. Why? Because you know what they tend to behave like. So then you smooth things out before you get there, which means in your mind, whatever conversation you're going to have that you want to have, be deliberate about it. Begin to be as gentle as possible in your own mind. You look in the mirror and you rehearse what you want to say and the tone in which you want to say it. Because that is being deliberate. It's being deliberate. So you see, my beautiful friends. Not Brian, I see you. And David, yeah, welcome, guys. But today, it does not matter what the situation is. Get out the law of polarity. Where are you now and what are you doing? Answer it honestly. I don't want to hurt their feelings. Answer the question honestly. Don't worry about hurting feelings. Because if you put your attention on not hurting feelings, where's the attention? On hurting feelings. So then what must the outcome be? But if your attention is on what? Being clear and precise and gentle with your approach and deliberate with your approach, well, then when you answer polarity and you say, oh, I'm here and I'm doing this, well, I want to be here and I want to do that. And you write it down and you do it. Because that is what causes us to be what? In alignment with law, but deliberately. So that is the exercise today. An exercise in observing your deliberate behavior. We are always deliberate. So take the time to see it for yourself. And when you see it, well, we can't unsee it. And so then it allows you when you see it to say, oh, that's what I'm doing. Good for me. Or that's what I'm doing. Ooh, let's fix that. We cannot ever be stuck. We can't. The law of vibration says everything is moving. Nothing stands still. So then when you look at where you are allegedly stuck, it's going to tell you where you are and what you're doing. You're spinning your wheels. What does that mean? Well, if you've ever been driving in winter and you're a little bit stuck in the snow, you have to change the direction of the tires. Why? To get a grip on something. So you find the thing you enjoy doing because now it will give you traction to move forward, to pull yourself out of being allegedly stuck. This is what happens. Well, I don't have any hobbies. I wonder why. Is that possibly because somebody said, but there's no money in that? Why would you waste your time? Why not just do what you love doing? Just start there. Do what you love doing. And a funny thing will happen. You'll begin to make money while you're doing what you love. Not because you're doing what you love, but you'll be making money while you do. Those two sentences are not the same. So, today, my beautiful friends, on this lovely Friday, Friday, yeah. Don't make me do it. This lovely Friday, go forth and observe yourself. See where you are behaving deliberately. Just see it. And then when you see it, do you like it? Well, if you do, throw confetti and carry on. If you don't like it, get out your trusty pen and paper. You know, the nerd that usually has a little pen protector in their pocket? Yes. Take that pen out your pocket protector, flip open your little notebook, and honestly respond to the law of polarity. Where are you now and what are you doing? Because you said, I don't like it. And then you answer the question honestly so that you can bring about the actual desired outcome you want. So you see, honesty does not mean, oh my God, that color like totally washes you out. When you're honest with yourself, you'll notice that there's a level of gentleness there. Oh, there is. You know, you could stand to do this part a little nicer, right? See, like if the souffle falls in, you don't just take it out of the oven and chuck it in the garbage. No, take out the souffle that has fallen in. Don't cry about it. But the souffle falling in is telling you something in your recipe is slightly off. So now you go through the ingredients and you'll see where the slight error occurred so that you can do what? When you make the souffle again, you can be more precise. But what if it falls in again, Angela? Where did the recipe, where did you not follow? Where did something slightly go off? Go through it again. This is the art of practice and persistence. A souffle calls for consistency every time in the recipe. Because then you are guaranteed the outcome of your souffle. But you change one thing in that bad boy, you'll have a problem. So even when you bake, you are required to be consistent in your baking. See, if you're going to take out the butter, what are you going to add in its place? If you're going to remove the eggs, what are you going to add in its place? Because you need the same effect. So you have to put in similar things to bring about the similar effect. You know, like if you're lactose intolerant or you're gluten intolerant. But so now you have to be deliberate in your changes. So today, perhaps you are the souffle. Perhaps you're the souffle. Alas, where did I go wrong in my ingredients? And you review and you do it again. You review it and you do it again. Because you know that when you take that souffle out of the oven and you say, I did it, I did it. Yes. You know what you've just done? Built your confidence in your skill. That's what you've done. And you didn't just build your confidence in your skill, you honed your skill. You made yourself sharp. So you see, being deliberate has many, many purposes. Not just so we can predict the desired outcome, but the more you do something, the better you get at doing it. And the better you get at doing it, well, we know how that turns out, don't we? It builds your confidence in your skill, yourself. The skill cannot happen unless you do it. So not only is that confidence there and you can say it with your chest, but it puts a smile on your face so that you know that you did what? I was consistent. Ooh, I was deliberate. Shoot, I was intentional. Next thing you know, you're walking down the street with a pep in your step. Somebody who knows you sees you and says, "Hey, you look good. What you doing in your life?" You see, many things unfold. How do we know? Because every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. That's how come we know. That's how come we know. So today, again, your simple task, should you choose to accept it, is to observe your deliberate self. What did you do deliberately? What did you not do deliberately? And then you begin to see it. Make a mental note of the law of correspondence. Oh, why? As above, so below. So you were deliberate in your mind. Your action was deliberate. How'd that make you feel? What are you going to tell me? Because you know you're going to slide into my DMs and tell me all about it. Angela, you will never believe what happened. Well, I don't need to believe. I know. Because that is the way the law works. Listen, you can take it to the bank. It's so predictable. You see, predictability breeds what? Comfort, peace of mind. It does. If you have a pet of any kind and you do this, you take it for its walk the same day, the same time, every day, you know how to, you test it so you know, ooh, what treats do you want? It does what? It conditions, but it conditions peace. Because if you're unpredictable, agitation sets in because you don't know when it's going to happen. Predictability brings about peace. So be deliberate today, and when you see it for yourself, you will do a sigh. I did that. That does feel good. And that's when you now will say, feels good. That's what you say to yourself, that it feels good, that you were deliberate. And when you see that you are deliberate in one area, you know that you are deliberate in all areas. And then what does that do for you? Peace of mind, comfort, confidence, boldness. And here we thought we were just planting seeds of being deliberate. Being deliberate is only the seed, but it bears fruit. And we know the fruits of the Spirit, don't we? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, and self control. Anywho, let me get this bowl out. Let's get the bowl. Mm. Cyber, what is it? Hey, Denise. Hi. Sorry, I'm looking at my YouTube chat. A plane flew over while I was outside last night. I had to imaginally put myself on that plane and feel I was headed to Barbados 1 year from now. You know it, right? Right? September to remember 2024. Barbados. That's how it is. Denise and Anot. Well, you know, David, because David said yesterday his phone wouldn't allow him to be in the chat. But he didn't get mad and throw his phone somewhere, did he? Nah, he came back today, and here he is being able to type in the chat. He was deliberate. Anywho, let me turn up the volume on the devices so that, YouTube, they always have the crisper sound because, well, they just do. But we gonna do it here. I'm just looking over my glasses to get the fine print. Hold on, hold on. Well, everyone, thank you for being here today. Cyber, Denise, Anot, David, Shea Butter, the Better Man, Joaquin. Thank you all for being here. And Love Troll, thank you also. And Tiffany and Jeff, thank you for being here. Fanbase, you know how we roll. We will end again on Fanbase today. Much love, Twitter. Twitter is closed. Oh, you know what we do around here. Hold on. Waiting for it to load. That rain be like. And YouTube, thank you all for being here on a lovely Friday. Remember your exercise. Observe your being deliberate. Much love to you all.